What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the LA Soccer Hub Show. My name is Gio Garcia, and today we have a great episode for you guys. It's rivalry week, LAFC versus LA Galaxy. Both teams played pretty good, got solid wins, big, impressive wins. So we're going to start off with the LA Galaxy side of things. Alex Ruiz from Total Galaxy is here to join me. Alex, how you doing?
Hey everybody, I'm doing good, Gio. How are you doing on this wonderful Monday evening?
Good, man. Lots going on. Like I said, man, so many different things going on. It's always an exciting time. But what about you? What'd you do outside of watch the games this weekend?
Um, Probably just go chill, go to IKEA for a bit. It's always nice to kind of go walk around there, sitting on the furniture,
IKEA, nice.
imagining that's your house. That's always kind of fun. Going to the park for a little bit, playing some baseball. Baseball's coming back, I think, this Friday, so want to go play a little bit. So do a little bit of everything, get in some exercise and also looking around at what my future house is gonna look like. Getting some early
so
ideas.
so so you're already looking into your future house and what you're looking to buy potentially.
Yeah, or like kind of just like see what kind of because like he always puts up those cool displays of like houses and stuff, so it's always kind of cool to check
So
that out.
let's go off tangent a little bit.
Yeah.
What's ideally your house? What's Alex Ruiz's house look like?
Um, uh, Ideally, my house is probably something, um, kind of chill. I'm not the type of person who's like because now a lot of people like to have like a bunch of indoor plants in their houses. That's not really me. I'm cool with plants, but just like having an excessive amount of plants is like that's not my thing. Just as
It's
long
too
as I
much.
have a nice coffee table to put my feet up sometimes and watch the Premier League in the morning and have some nice sofas, reclinable and stuff. Um, that's all I need. I'm,
That's
I'm
all
a
you need.
simple
Look,
man. I'm a simple man.
I was gonna say simple man. That's not hard. I mean, IKEA is like the perfect fit for you. Then you should think about potentially getting a job there.
Yeah, maybe. It's in the running in the future, but it was
I'm just
definitely lots of fun to go
I'm
around and
just
explore
I'm
it.
just joking. What IKEA do you go to out there in
The one
Miami?
in West Covina.
West Covina. Okay,
Yeah,
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 that
that
one
one.
on right off the freeway.
Yeah, right off the freeway, and it's like the huge
Okay,
building right next to it. Yeah, I
yeah,
used to
I've,
go
I've
there a
been
lot
there.
back when Peloton played, just because Sweden.
I've been there. So, but yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you like to think ahead like that, man. You're already thinking of your future. It looks bright. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. You're gonna have to keep us updated throughout the season how that goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'll let you guys know. Let the listeners know. I think that's
well, we're gonna want to stay in tune with that. But let's talk about this LA Galaxy man team because going into the international break, but they were they struggled, right? They lost two games to Orlando and then the Sounders, two tough games. Going into this game against the Timbers, I don't think anybody knew what to expect because we knew Douglas Costa was going to be there. Just the team looked a little off, but they got an impressive win over the Timbers. And exactly what they needed leading into this El Tráfico weekend. And Chicharito did his thing. He got two goals. He was maybe one pass shy of potentially getting a hat trick there. So he looks like he's hungry. Raheem Edwards also had an impressive game. Just overall, what stood out to you the most about this LA Galaxy game?
I think maybe it's just the fact that defensively they looked a little bit better. The only goal they gave up was like an incredible free kick by Tuiloma. Derek Williams had that kind of slide tackle, saving the ball from crossing the line moment on Yimi Chara. And that moment easily could have gone Portland's way. And if that goal goes in, I don't think the Galaxy get all 3 points. Um, Overall, it was nice to see Derek Williams have a strong performance again in the starting lineup. He had made a couple of appearances off the bench throughout the early games of the year, but this was his first full out start. Played 90 minutes, did amazing. It was interesting to see that Sega Koulibaly was the one who got pulled out, and Nick DePuy was the one that stayed in. But overall, I liked how the Galaxy played defensively. The midfield was looking really good up until Delgado got that red card. Or like I think it was early in the second half. But overall, it was just a good performance from the Galaxy. You're on mute, Gio. You're on mute.
There we go. There we go. I was on mute. There we go. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, no, what I was saying, I really liked how they came out. They got the big goal in the beginning from Chicharito right off the bat. I think it's like 9-10 minutes in, and a pass from Grand Sur, and I think they made a statement right away, and I think that's what the LA Galaxy needed to do. And no better player than Chicharito. We have the goal. Want to say what's up to Tony? We have the goal, so we're gonna go ahead and play it.
Here's Grandsir now for the Galaxy. The return from Raveloson. Grandsir's cross. Chicharito! An outstretched toe is just enough to give the Galaxy the lead. Chicharito's third goal already this season.
I think you guys over there at Total Galaxy posted a video about his movement. Talk to me about this goal because this was a typical Chicharito goal, but I think one thing you guys kind of pointed out was the movement and everything like that, which a lot of people, if you don't pay close attention to, that's what Chicharito, that's how he's made his money time and time again. Talk to me about his ball, about his movement within the box.
Yeah, everybody likes to criticize him the way he gets his goals. He always just seems to be a tapping away, but even that takes a great amount of skill. And from the angle we posted on the Instagram account and even on Twitter too earlier this morning was that Chicharito basically ran a wide receiver route to get separation off the center back. He basically fooled him into thinking that he was heading one way and then basically made a quick cut, went the other way, went to the other post and got a foot right on the cross perfectly. A lot of strikers, they don't really do that. They always want to be gravitated near the ball. But with Chicharito, his movement, he goes away from the ball and still finds a way to get his foot on it and score a goal. And not many strikers in the world can do that. Most elite defenders in the world, even, some of his old teammates at Manchester United would say, he was such a tough guy to mark in practice because his little movements he does, they just fool you. And, he always finds himself in the right place. He just has a knack for that all the time. And also for this goal, I just want to point out the 1-2 with Raveloson and Grandsir was real good. It was really smooth, one-touch passing. Grandsir gets a quick cross in, and right for the foot of Chicharito. That play overall was just great, and I think Galaxy really want to see that for the rest of the year because that's the type of football that Greg Vanny wants to see, and that's the kind of production Chicharito wants, and kind of um, service he wants as well, because you need service for Chicharito in order for him to have moments like this. And from this angle, it just looks incredible. You could watch it all day. He basically runs a wide receiver route, jukes him out, and boom, space right there. Simple goal, simple touch, simple Chicharito.
Yeah, and you see right there, it's the in and out, and you're right. It's so difficult to defend that, mark that because the defender's trying to look at the ball and also try to pay attention to Chicharito. Obviously, trying to see if you can catch him offside or whatever. But Chicharito's an elite scorer inside the box. I don't think there's anybody better in the world than him when it comes to scoring inside the box. And I think like Fox Sports did this thing of, all Chicharito's goals, and it was inside the 18 as you expected because that's where he makes his money. And if I'm an LA Galaxy teammate or like Cabral, for instance, I would have paid attention a little bit more to that because this ball was put right on the money, just only where Chicharito could get in, just tap it in, and you see it from Grand Sur. Cabral had a great game in this game. I was surprised he got taken out so early. But I think if more of his teammates are able to service him the ball the way Grand Sur did, and just to be able to read the run because he did the in and out and expect to know when the second run is going to happen or where to actually put it. You could see even in the celebration how happy he was when he finally scored because he just needed to tap in, and it's a lot easier said than done because of how elite he moves in and out. But yeah, I mean that's that. No one's going to be able to defend it. It doesn't matter who you are. No one in the world is going to be able to defend Chicharito when it's there. But if he can't get the service, that's where Chicharito is going to struggle because he needs to get that service. Um, Another thing I want to talk about is the performance overall. You talked about the defending. I agree with you. I feel like the defending was a lot better this game, even though they did give up a goal. It was off a set piece. Derek Williams looked really solid down there. Raheem Edwards as well. Talk to me about Raheem Edwards and when you like that of him in this game.
He's been amazing so far. I saw someone on Twitter say he's kind of taking or looking like Marcelo, who plays for Real Madrid, kind of in his prime. Marcelo also too was a player who played up front more. He played as a left midfielder, and that's kind of what Raheem used to do. And once he converted to left back, he became one of the best left backs in the world. Nobody can doubt that. And you're kind of seeing that with the Raheem Edwards here, where he's taking his game and elevating to a new level. He's the best attacking left back in MLS so far. He has 4 assists. It's incredible what he's done and the chemistry already has on the left-hand side with Chicharito. I think he might have 3 assists to Chicharito already. this season, which is absolutely incredible. And just the sheer fact that he wanted to come to Galaxy because of Greg Vanney, because of the coaching staff, and you have this big rivalry game going on. He's the only player to directly come from one rival to another, and the only reason Raheem came to the Galaxy was because he had that history with Greg Vanney, with their coaching staff. He knew what they wanted to do tactically, and it's paying off. It's paying its dividends off immediately. You're seeing elite production from Raheem Edwards. He's been incredible. Best signing of the MLS offseason so far, I would say. I would put it up there. But overall, just I think this move is really going to rejuvenate Raheem's career, and he's really looking closer and closer to maybe being on that Qatar plane for Canada later in November.
Yeah, a lot of people on social media were talking about Raheem Edwards. The performance he does, the service he gives to Chicharito. I think the assist may be off in the stat. I think what they have four since what do they credit him here? 4 or 5 stats. I think the other stat was actually to Ravelson was one of
Yeah,
the
I
assists.
remember. I don't know why MLS did that, or the Galaxy did that, but for some reason, for that goal, the first goal against Seattle, they gave Raheem Edwards an assist when he basically just got a hockey assist because of that pass to Ravelson inside the box. I don't know, why that happened.
Look,
Uh,
we'll give it to him.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it needs to be. I would say, if we're gonna be correct, yeah, he has one. He's one shy of the actual assist. But yeah, look, I'm very impressed because look, watching Raheem Edwards last year with LAFC, he struggled because he did not have a role. With, like I keep saying this, with the Galaxy, he has a role. He's defined. He knows what he's gonna come in every day, in and out, and it makes your job easier once you're gonna know what you got to do every single day, and he's literally benefiting all of this, and he understands that he just needs to give Chicharito the ball in certain times, or Victor Vasquez or Douglas Costa or wherever. But he's also becoming a real threat on that left hand side, and he has a pace to sprint back whenever there's a counterattack or anything like that. And look, I haven't paid too much attention to the Canadian team to understand their depth at left back. I don't know if what is Alfonso Davies plays at right back, left back. I don't recall. But yeah, he's definitely making a case for himself. There's a lot of players that from the Canadian team that play in the MLS, also they also play in the Premier League around the world. But he's definitely making a case for himself just to try to get into that roster. If the Galaxy make a deep run in the playoffs, I could definitely see Raheem definitely making it close. Like I said, I don't know how good their depth is at left back, but I've been very impressed with Raheem Edwards. I think he's going to be an X factor this game coming up this weekend for them, because he can do so many things on that left hand side, and he also is going to battle, I'm assuming, either Brian Rodriguez on that side, Carlos Vela at times, and then also Chicho, depending who starts up there. But yeah, it's going to be I think it's the biggest, obviously the biggest pickup for the other Galaxy, and he's benefiting so much after, and you get to see it. He never looked this happy 5 games in with LAFC. I'm glad he's found a home with the LA Galaxy. I do quickly want to go ahead and play the goal here, the assist from Raheem Edwards to Chicharito.
Forward, Edwards gets by one, Edwards gets by two, Chicharito! That is how you stop a comeback. 4 goals in 5 games for Chicharito in 2022.
And that's how you score.
Obviously, that was very impressive how he gives a little juke fake, pretends he's gonna shoot, and he passes it up there. I wasn't expecting anything less from there. You see Chicharito right there. To me, it really seems like he has a good understanding of where he needs to place the ball, and to give the Chicharito. Anything else you'd like to add, Alex, on that?
Yeah, just overall, Raheem just had a great game too, and I think also talking about the other fullback spot, Calvin Leardam started this game instead of Julian Araujo, and I thought Leardam did really good defensively. He's not Julian Araujo who's going to go up and down the pitch. Leardam's 31 years old. I don't expect him to be a workhorse on that right hand side, but defensively, he looked like a rock so far. And with Mark Delgado getting a red card, I wouldn't be surprised to see him play as a midfielder, because he's done that on the international level. But we could talk about that later. But overall, this defense did really good. Like we mentioned, Derek Williams, spectacular return back, especially because he's coming back to Portland where that Andy Polo tackle happened. And, a lot of stuff has happened since that incident, a lot of, with Andy Polo, MLS, and etc. But overall, it was just great to see that the defensive unit played really good. Just can't give up sloppy fouls. And, the game got a little chirpy and heated at halftime and once the second half began, but they kept their composure for the rest of the game. And overall, just this defense seems to be improving at the right time, right when there's a rivalry game this upcoming week.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with that. The only bad thing about this was Mark DeGallo's red card. You know, I don't know. He didn't need to commit any of those fouls when you look back at that. It's unfortunate he got the red card. They are going to be without him against LAFC and Traffico. It's gonna be a tough loss, but there's other players that could come in and step up for him. We'll see how big of a loss that is, because they were winning. I think the reason why it's gonna hurt the Galaxy, they were winning this game against Portland. They were up a man, and then you even things out. What were your thoughts on Mark DeGallo getting that red card?
Yeah, it was just really silly timing, and just overall, the officiating in this game was really weird and inconsistent the whole time. I remember Greg Vanny started his press conference talking about how just the calls were so inconsistent. It was so hard to really try to manage this game, especially when tempers were flaring a little bit. The only way he could really calm that down was by giving out cards, and unfortunately, some of the things that were cards should not have been cards. They just should have been, hey, this is a warning last time, then you get a card. But overall, it's going to be a big miss for the Galaxy next week. I mean, Delgado and Raveloson, just that midfield pairing has a lot of potential, and they're slowly getting there and being more comfortable with each other. We saw in the first goal, Raveloson pushing forward, playing that 1-2 with Grand Sear before he got in that cross for Chicharito. Like, that's the kind of movement and play you want to see if you're Greg Vanny. Seeing easy one-touch passes lead to a goal like that, it's perfection. And I think Raveloson and Delgado's relationship on who goes up when and where,
Mhm.
it's slowly getting better, and it was really starting to peak right as the season's progressing, right as the season's moving on. And it's real unfortunate if you're a Galaxy fan that he's gone, because he's gonna be such a huge miss. Like Vanny said earlier, during the preseason, he's the great equalizer. He does so many of the little things right. He does so good defensively protecting that back line, and he does so good pushing the team forward.
Yeah, no, and the understanding there of knowing that, hey, if Radelson's going to push up, I'm gonna have to drop back. He's more of a physical threat, an offensive threat up top. Mark DeGalle stays back. I think that's going to be the tough challenge, because now whoever steps up, right? I don't know who's going to take his place, because we haven't really seen nobody necessarily come in for Radelson or DeGalle this year. Who would you think would replace DeGalle, if you had a guess?
Oh, I'm for sure gonna like if I were to bet if I were a betting man, I'd put my money on Calvin Leerdam. I mean, he's
Hmm.
played as a defensive midfielder for the Seattle Sounders. The couple of years that he was there, so it's not like a new position for him. He's played on there at the international level. This past international break with Suriname, he played as a defensive midfielder. So this isn't nothing new to him. And like I said earlier when we were talking about his performance against Portland, he looked really good defensively. If right back's the place he's gonna be, it's fine, but he won't give you the kind of energy and work rate that Araujo gives you on that right hand side. So I think playing as a sixth defensive midfielder is just perfect for Leerdam, because he can be that rock that protects the back line. And I think they're going to need that, considering that, LAFC have a really high tempo midfield. And, having somebody there who can cut out crosses and be a little bit physical, do the little dirty work in the trenches, that's what the Galaxy are going to need to win this rivalry game. And Delgado is good in all that, but he's not a physical presence. And I feel like Leerdam can be that big physical presence if you give him that role as a six.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see who Greg Vandy decides to call up for this game. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be at home, so that's definitely a benefit towards the LA Galaxy. Before we move on, we got to talk about Chicharito one more time. He got Player of the Week. He got Team of the Week as well. He got 2 goals. So overall, he has 4 goals in 5 games. Obviously, this is what we're expecting Chicharito. There's nothing that he's done does so far that that we didn't expect, and I think I like what I've been seeing from him, especially the goals when he gets to service. The only concern that I have, it's not necessarily about Chicharito, it's about the LA Galaxy themselves, because he scored all their goals this season. Maybe who was else? Maybe Efrain Alvarez is maybe the other player, and then they got an own goal. No one else thus far, has scored goals for the LA Galaxy. I don't want anything to go down the road, down the season. But if Chicharito is only going to be the only person scoring the goals, and if Chicharito say you stop Chicharito or you limit Chicharito, if that's even possible, then it gets a little difficult for the LA Galaxy because no one else has shown up to this point to be able to score goals. Yeah, Efrain, he has a leg, but to be able to score those type of goals, those happen every now and then. Kevin Cabral hasn't been able to show he scores. Douglas Costa scored one from free kick, but from run and play, he's just a little bit Chicharito. Look, he's impressive, but I think that's the only concern I have if you're the LA Galaxy. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's really looking a lot like last year where Chicharito was the only source of offense. And just in general, just the fact that Cabral hasn't, taken a step up and really developed himself as a finisher is really concerning because you want him to be that finisher when he gets himself in really good spots. Like you mentioned, Douglas Costa, we don't even know if he'll be available for this next game. I hope he's I think they said he was going to be in full training this week, but you really want to see one of your other DPs, Cabral or Costa, really elevate their game and be a goal scorer. And so far, if Chicharito is the only goal scorer, he's going to wear himself to the like the ground, and then he's going to get hurt because his body just isn't built like it was 5-6 years ago. So you got to be cautious with that if you're Greg Vanny as well, because while it's great you're getting all this offensive production, at some point his body's going to break because he's not the most, healthy. He's a little injury prone. So you got to be able to make sure you manage his minutes well and don't be so over reliant on Chicharito, because when he was gone last year, the Galaxy were horrible. They lost 8 in a row, or they were winless
Winless
in
in
8.
eight.
Yeah, winless in 8. They couldn't get anything done offensively. Defensively, they were still a problem. There were still problems in the defensive side as well. So you don't want to repeat it last year. You have a blueprint of how to avoid those kind of situations. Manage Chicharito's minutes. Try to get somebody else there involved. You have Joveljic, who still only gets like 5 minutes a game, but again, you just need to make sure that this team's attack overall is just working well. I mean, Grancier had a chance to get on the score sheet, but missed from 6 inches away.
Yeah, he had a
So
tap.
you really need this attack to just really not zero in on Chicharito all the time, because you want to share the wealth. That's how, teams in MLS have done it and succeeded. While it's great to have a great talisman like Chicharito, you need other supporting pieces in the supporting cast to also play a good role when teams just solely focus on Chicharito.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the only concern I have if you're the LA Galaxy and Chicharito, because that you don't want to what happened last year happen this year again. But what I will say is, with every goal he scores, there's more and more pressure in the Mexican national team that they're going to want him back. I think they've already said they're not going to take him to Qatar. But you have a player that's in form. You have a player that's been scoring. You have a player that's the number one leading goal scorer in the nation's in Mexico's history. And with every single goal he scores this season, there's going to be more and more of that pressure. I don't think that conversation is going to end until he officially doesn't end up going to Qatar. And it doesn't also help when Raul Jimenez and all the other number nines are struggling to score for the Mexican national team. But I mean, to me, when I look at this and you hear Chicharito talk about he is such in a positive mental state of mind when it comes to that. I think he already understands what the situation is, but he's doing his best with the LA Galaxy. For whatever reason, the door opens up again, I'm pretty sure he'll take that opportunity. But until then, I think the more and more of that pressure is going to go on the Mexican national team for not calling him up. Let's talk about this weekend, El Tráfico, the matchup. What are you most excited about? What are you curious about when it comes to this game this Saturday?
I mean, there's really a lot of storylines to touch on. I mean, this is one of the biggest games in MLS. It's going to be on national TV, Big Fox, Fox 11. This game's going to be huge. For LAFC, right now they're top of the West. They look real good. I don't know exactly how many points they had back in 2019, but I think they've beat that mark already so far in the progress of the season. So they're going to be a tough team. They got lots of depth. So whoever they pull off the bench is going to be a game changer. And right now, just the Galaxy, they haven't allowed LAFC to beat them at Dignity Health Sports Park throughout all the games. Like you mentioned, first time you're going to see Chicharito versus Vela. Those two go way back, to their early Chivas days. So the one thing I'm probably going to be looking at the most is who's going to win the width battles, right? Who will Carlos Vela get the better of Julian Araujo or Raheem Edwards, Brian Rodriguez versus Edwards or Araujo? I think whoever wins those matchups is going to end up being the victor of this game, because we know how LAFC can get wide and, be a threat on that side. And if the Galaxy are able to neutralize that, have their fullbacks push up and really bring pressure on LAFC, then the Galaxy are going to have more chances because it can be more service in the box for Chicharito and, give him an inch of space and he'll find something or create something himself inside the box. So whoever wins that matchup I think, is going to ultimately end up winning that game.
That's a very interesting point there. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of different things for the other Galaxy. Obviously, they've shown that they can score. LAFC just played a thriller against Orlando away, and they gave up I think 2 goals. So they can also get scored on. I think one way where the Galaxy could potentially struggle is if LAFC put on the high press on the LA Galaxy, because at times we even saw with this Timbers team when they pressed a little high, the Galaxy aren't as smooth or aren't as quick with the ball when they need to be when it comes to that. So if LAFC presses high a little bit, I feel that's where the Galaxy can struggle. Another way is if no one else scores outside Chicharito. I think that'd be the other way. But I expect. I mean, expect fireworks. First time ever, we're finally gonna get to see Carlos Vela versus Chicharito. We've been waiting for this since Chicharito got signed. When was it, in 2020? Was it in
20,
20,
yeah, 2020.
2020? We've been waiting for this matchup, Carlos Vela versus Chicharito. And the awesome thing is that both players, both Carlos Vela and both Chicharito, both have 4 goals. Both are in top tier form. No injuries coming into this game. So no excuses. Last season we had there was injuries on both sides. So this year going into this game, I expect nothing but fireworks. I expect Chicharito to have a big game. I expect Carlos Vela to have a big game. I expect it to be very hostile, very physical. These I don't expect this. I expect this game to get very chippy, just because this is a derby. And yeah, and the only thing that the Galaxy have over the LAFC in these matches is that they haven't won in the LA Galaxy, and I know a lot of that. I know LAFC is going to want to win, coming into the Dignity Health Sports Park, but it's gonna be an exciting game. Are you going to be there, Alex?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be at the game.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that if you get a chance, guys, definitely go to one of these games. And I think also like that the teams, both LAFC and LA Galaxy teams, they did a joint statement on the on the unity of the fans in the stands. Because of sometimes after the game and stuff, it could definitely get a little wild. So I like that both teams did this. What'd you think about that joint statement?
I thought it was incredible. I hope both fan bases take it seriously because the players definitely do take it seriously. I mean, last time these guys played, there was a brawl inside the Dignity Health Sports Park. So you don't want to have a situation like that occur again. And, just a month ago, we had like horrible events happen in Querétaro. And, you don't want to see ever that kind of stuff on a football stadium again. And, overall, I think just the rivalry, like it's like intense between LA Galaxy fans and LAFC fans. And, at the same time, I think the players acknowledge that too. I mean, you had Chicharito, Chicho Arango, Jonathan Bond, who was the other player? Hollingshead, I think, and I forgot who the other one was. Oh, Ilie Sanchez and Victor Vasquez. They both are pretty serious. Like, hey, yeah, we're rivals on the field, but you guys need to take it, calm on the stands and stuff like that. You don't want it to get super aggressive. I know the Galaxy have made it clear they're going to have increased security measures to kind of avoid situations from escalating to the point where it gets to physical violence. So I think it'll be a pretty safe environment. I think the Galaxy have learned from what happened last time these two faced, and the kind of fight that broke out. So I think we'll see a lot better security. I don't think anybody should be fearful heading into this game. There's going to be a lot of security. Everybody knows these guys don't really like each other, both the fans and some of the players as well. But overall, I think it's going to be an enjoyable experience, and hopefully it's peaceful when it comes to people interacting with one another. LA Galaxy fans, LAFC fans. I understand there'll be banter here and there. That's normal, but just don't let your emotions carry you over way too much.
Yeah, banter is okay.
Yeah, it's
We
okay.
actually like banter here as well. But violence, come on, fans, children, families are going to these games, so you definitely want to make it enjoyable when they go to this game. Tony, he's like, can y'all touch on the Rajo's tackle in the box that could have potentially led to a PK? Yeah, I thought that was a PK. I don't know how. We talk about the refing. I think the Galaxy might have gotten away with 2 PKs.
They
I
did
remember
because
correctly.
there was that Araujo tackle in the box, and then Nick DePuy got like a handball when he
Yep.
was sliding down to block a cross. And it was funny because in the game after the game ended, I saw on TikTok there was a guy at the Portland game with the things they give you at the doctor's office to read your eye, the eye test and stuff, and he's like screaming at the ref, "What game are you watching?" And pointing this at the ref and stuff. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, Portland, I think should have gotten at least one penalty. Julian Araujo again, he just hasn't really, I don't know what it is at the moment because, he's still producing defensively at times. He's still going up and down that right hand side, but just these little like boneheaded plays at times where he dives in too much. He's too aggressive sometimes. And just, it's great to be aggressive. Don't get me wrong, but you got to calculate these kind of things because there's such big risks. I mean, you could go to get an automatic red card or something if you miss time a tackle. If you could trip somebody up, if you're not fully concentrated and leads to a penalty. We saw Mark Delgado's red card, or excuse me, one of his yellow cards led to Tuilamo's amazing free kick goal.
Yeah.
So you really got to be careful. I mean, coming into a rivalry game, I think Vandy's going to make the emphasis, hey, don't let your emotions get the better of yourself, and also just play smart. Don't do anything dumb. It's 11 versus 11, not 1v1. So
Yeah, no,
I
I would
think that this type of performance from Araujo, I think he'll wake up. And last year, he was really struggling last year, at the beginning of last year too. And this LAFC game, once he played them, it woke him up, and he eventually boomed and became one of the best MLS young players.
Yeah, no, I would say, yeah, I was, like I said, I definitely looked like a penalty. Hopefully he doesn't have any more because he necessarily doesn't need to do those tackles. He's very skilled and very quick at his position. But briefly before we let you go, Alex, we're looking at the standings right now. LAC in first place with 13 points, and LA Galaxy in third place with 9 points. So yeah, it's a tight race right there. It's only week 5, but I mean, this is the most anticipated game of the season thus far. Most anticipated matchup. You got Carlos Vela versus Chicharito. First time ever. It's finally going to happen. I expect nothing but fireworks for this Saturday. So for Alex, we're gonna let you go, Alex. Thank you for hopping on, and everybody in the chat, hang in there. We're gonna switch things over. And welcome back. We're talking LAFC today. LAFC versus LA Galaxy this Saturday. El Traffico here to help us talk LAFC. We got JP Marquez. JP, how you doing? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm
There you
muted.
go.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man. Good. How was your weekend? What'd you do this weekend outside of watching the game?
I played my games. We won twice. We won on Saturday and we won on Sunday, so I'm pretty happy. LAFC won and my team's won. Nothing to complain about.
Nice, nice. And where are you playing again? Remind everybody.
Season Men's Club Soccer. So we beat USC on Saturday and we beat UCSB on Sunday. So good wins all around.
Hey man, it's always good. I've been playing lately. I've been playing during the week, out here. So it's good. I play there's one league where you just go up to the park, and it's usually like older men, they play, they're drinking on the side before you get there, it's one of those. And then cuz it was funny, like the first time I went,
Mar Vista?
yeah, Mar Vista. Yeah, it's Mar Vista. So the guy, so the guys are just like drinking beers and stuff like
Yeah.
in the parking
Peru
lot.
and everything. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the Peru. Yeah, they got the Peru
Yeah.
beanies. So, so I went there. I'm like playing. They're like, "You want to play?" Cool. So I'm like, I swear when I walked up, I'm like, "Dang, these guys were getting lit." You know, they're just drinking. And then come to find out, like I'm in the game, and the same guys that were drinking, he was our goalkeeper. He was like ended up being my goalkeeper. He was just having some pregame drinks, and I was like, oh, okay. And every time I go now, I recognize him now. It's a whole experience, and this is like
Yeah,
like on a Tuesday, man. I'm just like didn't expect them to play, but they got some pregame drinks before the game.
yeah. The vibes are always right there, Mar Vista. They're cool.
Yeah, no, I like it. You get some good competition too, and then they bring the pennies, and like I remember one of the times where it was just like maybe like I want to say like 5-on-5 or something like that. But like we're not playing like the full men's field. We're playing
Mhm.
from side to side, and the guy with the pennies, he has like this Peru pennies. I'm assuming he's from Peru, and he makes the goals like really far,
Mhm.
and I'm like, don't you think that's too far? He's just an older gentleman, and he's way more out of shape than I am, and he's all like, "Well, aren't you here to run? Aren't you here to get some exercise?" And I was like, "Oh damn!" I'm like, "All right, you're right." But I was just like, "It's just four of us. We're gonna be running a lot." But like more people started showing up and stuff, so I
Yeah.
understood why he wanted to make it bigger and stuff. But enough of that. Of my us playing and stuff. Let's talk about LAFC, man. Big game, big thrilling game. They beat Orlando in Orlando 4-2 on a rainy night.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the performances?
I mean, they didn't start well. They didn't start well. I think it's becoming a trend that LAFC doesn't start these games fiery. But they get into these games. They find a spot. They find a space. They find the way to score, and then the game just opens up for them. And they can just keep on piling up goals and end up winning because they end up giving two in the first half. But I think Steve needs to work on the beginning of the games because again in the Traffico in big time games you can't give up the first 15-20 minutes and be sloppy and let the team just override you.
I would say Orlando's that good of a team, though. And now watching them twice, I get what you're saying, but now watching Orlando twice, they're not the same Orlando of old. They're just a tough team. I think
Hmm.
Orlando's going to go deep this year. I don't know how far they're going to go, but I think they're definitely going to be in the playoff run. And there's a lot of quality players. Obviously, you got Pato, Alexander Pato. He scored an amazing goal against LAFC. Facundo Torres, as well. The Uruguayan player that came from Peñarol. They have a solid squad, but I would agree it was a tough first 15 minutes of the game. But one thing LAFC was able to do, they were able to capitalize. I believe they were able to score first.
Yeah.
Brian Rodriguez got started things off with the goal. It was a Vela to Chicho to Brian Rodriguez goal, which was amazing. You know what? Let's go ahead and play that goal because it was a solid play all around.
Waiting for it. Vela brings it out of the air, maintains it, trying to get that nice bounce. He does. Chicho Arango picks his head up. Brian Rodriguez asks for it. The ball there. Oh, golazo! Brian Rodriguez has his goal, and it is gorgeous.
So you see there, it was kind of a quick play. Vela starts this off, perfect ball from Vela to Chicho. Chicho puts the ball right in the money, and Brian Rodriguez puts it away. I think if this was the Brian Rodriguez of a couple years back, he might have not made that. But now I think he was the best player in the game. This game, he was able to capitalize. He scored that goal. What were your thoughts on that play and also on Brian Rodriguez?
I mean, it's the first play where Vela, Chicho, and B-Rod connect this season, and it's a connection the fans and the league want to see all season. So I'm happy to see that. And Brian finally gets a goal, finally gets on the score sheet, something that he needs for his personal confidence, because he just hasn't been able to do that in his LAFC career. He's been able to take players one on one, or his shot is off, or his crosses aren't there. But to see him finally make that run and culminate in a goal, is big for him because he wants that World Cup spot. But it's also good for the team that all their big players are producing and getting touches on the ball to score in that goal.
Yeah, no, I think it's a definitely confidence boost all around. But for Brian Rodriguez to get there and score the goal, because it's an effort play. If he knows that if he sprints down the box, he has an opportunity to get there. All he has to do is get a leg, a foot, a knee, or wherever, just to get it in there when you're that close to the goal. So, hats off to him. And also, it was this game was back and forth, very back and forth. I think Alexander Pato ended up scoring next. It was just back and forth. I think it was 2-2. John Moutinho tied it
Yeah.
at half. It was a very impressive game and performance. I do also, we have to give credit to Jesus Murillo. He was able to score the second goal for LAFC. Not only that, he also made it to the MLS Team of the Week. What were your thoughts on Jesus Murillo? Obviously, he got the second goal. It was just another tap in, but he makes Team of the Week there as a center back. I believe this may be his first time. It was his first goal. I don't know if it's his first time making MLS Team of the Week. I may be wrong on that. But what are your thoughts on him getting his first goal and making Team of the Week?
I'm pretty sure it's the first one this season that he makes team of the week. But yeah, I mean, if center backs score, they're bound to catch the attention of the league. He's been solid this season. Maybe not the best center back. I think Fall's still our best center back this season. But you and me were both at the preseason game, and he looked a bit shaky. So the turnaround that we've seen from him in just these 5 games, Dolo emphasized in preseason that they've been working on defensive shape, and I think you can see that with Murillo. They barely concede goals. They conceded 2 this season, but they haven't really conceded that many goals. So it's defensive fortitude all around. And when Segura comes back, we saw him and Murillo. That partnership is very strong. So I think Murillo is only going to gain more confidence, especially scoring goals, which center backs don't do. But I think it's good early signs in the season to have defensive performances that back up good results.
Yeah, no, I think props to Murillo for not only just scoring the goal but also making Team of the Week. Goes to show how much effort he's been putting into on the defensive shape. And that's what I think you needed out of Murillo. Where you didn't expect him to get a goal, but that was also an effort play when he was able to get his goal there. And I think it's important for him to have a game like how he did against Orlando. A lot of players had really good games, really good game against Orlando, and it wasn't all Carlos Vela, it wasn't all Chicho, it was essentially all the rest of the players who you don't necessarily expect to, and then also to get a 4-2 victory, I think was very solid. Celso here says Moutinho following the law of the X's and punishing his former club. He said, "Leave Raheem Edwards out of this one, please." He makes a good point. Yeah, Moutinho, the last few times he scored a goal. John Moutinho, I'm assuming you guys know, he used to play for LAFC. He scored. Tristan Blackman also scored. Raheem Edwards, who is playing phenomenal, by the way, with the LA Galaxy, who is the biggest game of the year thus far. May have something up his sleeve. Celso brings up a great point. What are your thoughts about that?
Hey man, somebody needs to mark Raheem Edwards. Escobar needs to get back fit and man mark Edwards when he's coming up the wing. But yeah, I mean, Joao Moutinho was left open. You see Ryan Hollingsted, try to make a sliding effort for that goal, but it was just too late. And then Blackman, gets a header and scores on us, but doesn't celebrate. So if Raheem were to score, which I don't think he will, I want to see if he scores, if he does anything to maybe spark the rivalry more, or if he's going to be respectful for his time here at LAFC.
I mean, yeah. Look, he's getting an incredible assist. He's getting incredible assists to Chicharito. So yeah, if he's able to score, we're gonna have to blame Celso for that. So he's the one that commented, but he's just making a point there. But yeah, look, I wouldn't expect anything less because he's doing such an amazing job thus far with the LA Galaxy. And it's going to be a very, very exciting game. One player I do want to point out as well, Ilya Sanchez. He had a rocket, man. I think he made Team of the Week on the bench.
Yeah, he did too. Yeah, he did too.
And then Steve Cherundolo got head coach, got Team of the Week coach. It's so hard to read it when it's down there. But we have to watch this rocket from Ilya Sanchez.
Ilya takes it himself. Ilya Sanchez. It's always pass first, but this time he says, "I got it."
Blast. He got his first goal. Murillo got his goal. What were your thoughts on that?
Hey man, he's been my favorite player so far this season, from the new acquisitions from LAFC. For him to finally, get a goal, get some stats to really help his performances, because they could be overlooked because he doesn't appear on the stat sheet, on the score sheet all the time. But his work is great. If he saw the space, he's a seasoned veteran. He knows that sometimes you just have to ping it and it'll go into the back of the net. He has European experience. He's great. He's been great in the midfield. So him, finally getting a go-ahead goal is great for him and great for the team because he is one of these new leaders of this team this season. So I expect more from him. He's not used to scoring, but it's great to see him. Great to see him pinging it.
Yeah, we got a interesting comment here from Chris. He says, "I think you guys are giving way too much credit to Brian Rodriguez as best player of the game. He lost the ball at least 15 times. He had a good play, which was putting in the goal across. He didn't do anything other than that. He has most giveaways in all the league. That's an actual stat." He's like, "Sorry, but I'm just not sold on him. He has one good play for every 100 bad giveaways. I would take someone who scores one less than 50 goals." Um, I get you not being sold on him, but I think you have to give credit what credit's due. He scored. He got things going. Um, I think the I'm with you though on the thing that it's still wait and see approach because of how much LAFC invested in him. To me, he has to be one of the best players in the league in order for that investment to pay off. And this is the year I would assume, because I think he has to be the second best player on the team. I know Chicho's on the team, or Chicho. He has to be in order. I think to me, in order for him to get or LAFC to get their investment for him to potentially get where he wants to go in Europe, he has to be the second best player in the league. Long term, right now, I don't see that, but short term, you have to give him credit. Him scoring the goal. Yeah, I'm with you. He has to be cleaner when he does the one on ones. But it's to me, I've seen a different Brian Rodriguez than the last couple of years. But to me, he's not right now. He's not the second best player on the team. I think that needs to happen first. But I think with Rodriguez, it's baby steps, which is unfortunate to say, but like to me, I applaud a player when he's doing things like that, and he's doing so many different things for his team. He's putting the effort. I think he was the one that got the assist with the Timbers and stuff like that. It goes like that, but I think I would wait till the end of the year or whatever to the end of his contract, and it's okay if you're not sold on Rodriguez. And that's totally fine. I think he needs to have more games like this or more like consistently be in order for him to eventually pay off his value. But I'm not gonna hone in on every single stat just because if they would have lost, then I think you look at those stats a little bit more. But they got the win. He put in the effort. He was on the stat sheet. He impacted the game with the goal. But I hear you. I hear what you're saying. What are your thoughts on that, JP?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for B-Rod this season has been his attitude. He's been very sold on the team. Every time the team scores, he's happy. He goes into the huddle, celebrates with all of his teammates. He looks, happy on the pitch. But yeah, I mean, you expect a DP to not lose the ball that many times. Even though he's an attacker, Messi and Ronaldo don't win every 1v1 that they have. But he has the talent to win more 1v1s, be more dangerous in the box. We have seen, flashes of it in El Traffico, takes three players on in the box and scores. So the talent is there. It's just been consistency. But I've liked what I've seen from B-Rod this season so far. He has an assist, he has a goal. He's always made those back end runs in the box. Sometimes they just haven't played it to him, but this time they did and he scored. So I think 5 games isn't enough to assess B-Rod this season. But overall in his LAFC career, I think it's fair to say you're not sold on him. But if we're just looking at this season alone, I think it's promising, and better things are going to come from B-Rod this season.
Yeah, I would agree on that. I think it's out of all the years he's been with LAFC, this is the most promising. This is the most he's looked, and he's posting about LAFC
Mhm.
after every game, which just tells you,
Yeah.
as someone who's a young guy, that posts is about his team getting the 3 points and stuff like that. It comes off very genuine and shows how committed he is to the team. So I would just wait till the end of the season to see where he's off. He could potentially be that second best player. But we'll have to see. But I'm with you. I think he's definitely sold. He's definitely put in the effort to become a committed LAFC player. Celso says Ilya allows Murillo to be good again. That's a good point. Good again. I don't know when. I think he's. Look, I want to
Champions
praise.
League was
I want
when
to.
Maria was
Okay, I
best.
want to praise Murillo because um, he did good this game, but I think he's been one of the inconsistencies. But if he's able to have games like this where he doesn't, I think sometimes Mario he holds on to the ball a little too much, and I think that's where he kind of gets in trouble. But I get what you're saying, so I think Elias Sanchez does so many things on the defensive end, defensive midfield things that doesn't necessarily put too much of that pressure. But I would just want to see more games like this out of Murillo, and no other bigger game. There's not another bigger game than this Saturday against the LA Galaxy that I would like to see that out of Murillo, because if Murillo's able to be that consistent, he's a pretty big body. He's a pretty big body, and if he's able to be consistent like that, I think LAC will limit some of their mistakes that they have in the back end. What are your thoughts, JP?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ilya's biggest help to the team has been his defensive positioning. He knows when to pressure, he knows when to cover, he knows when to go in, which allows Murillo to not have to deal with so many, chances from the opposition. So Ilya covers for him, leaves less work for Murillo, less chances for mistakes, and Murillo just has to clean up headers or make cleaning slides. Not many presses that he has to cover when Ilya, covers that ground.
Yeah, look, it's gonna be interesting this Saturday when they face LAFC, right? So let's talk about that game, LAFC versus LA Galaxy. It's at Dignity Health Sports Park. This first go around. They're only gonna play each other twice, one home, one away. LAFC have yet to beat LA Galaxy down there in Carson. It's a big game. Both teams are in top form. Both Carlos Vela and Chicharito top form. First time we will ever see Carlos Vela and Chicharito go at it. To me, I think that's the biggest thing. These two guys are going at it, as we see right there. Chicharito has 4 goals going into this game. Carlos Vela has 4 goals going into this game. Something's gonna have to give, right? We want to see a winner there. I don't want to see a tie. I don't care even if it's 4-4. I want to see a winner in this matchup, because there's so many things that could happen. This win could give LA Galaxy 2-game winning streak. This game for Steve Cherundolo, who's been doing amazing this year in 5 games so far, could accomplish something that Bob Bradley hasn't accomplished, was to beat the LA Galaxy in their home. What are your thoughts about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Dolo's biggest game of his career. It's a young coaching career, but it's a big game. It's the Derby. You haven't won in Carson ever under Bob Bradley, who's a great coach, who's one of the best coaches in the U.S., but he was never even able to win in Carson. So, it's a tough ask for Dolo, who's just starting his career. But hey, LAFC is the only undefeated team in the West. They're top of the league. I mean, it's only 5 weeks, but they're winning. They're leading the Supporters Shield. It's only been 1 tie and 4 wins. So, I know Carson is going to want to beat that streak from LAFC. But LAFC is also going to want to finally win in Carson. So it's going to be a great game. It's going to be electric. Vela and Chicha are hot. They're always going to want to show out. Vela, I think, wants to win. He's lost too many times here. Chicha hasn't really played that many El Traficos, but he's a competitor, man. I think the battle's going to be in the midfield, and the midfield's going to end up dictating who gets most of the chances. Because we know both front three can create danger and score. But like you said, I want to see fireworks, and 4-4 is nice, goals and everything, all the emotions. But ultimately, you want a winner to see where this game propels either of these team seasons.
Yeah, because there's just so many things at stake. I know it's early in the season, but a game like this is something you could brag on, because when's the next time they play each other? Is it July, August? I forget when the second game is. Someone in the chat can tell me, but if we look at the standings quickly right now, we got LA. Let me just pull this up. We got
They play July 8th again, and
July 8th.
yeah,
I recall something like that. So we look at the standings right there quickly. We got LAFC, which is in third place. I mean, excuse me, in first place with 13 points. They have LAFC hasn't lost. They haven't lost yet this season. They're starting things out really solid, and you see LA Galaxy who are in third place with 9 points. Um, really interesting. Standings right there. Look, it's early. Yes, anything can happen, but it's good to see where each team is at. Because when you look at this 5 games in, no one was sure where LAFC would be, right, with the
yeah,
new head coach, a lot of these different changes. But a lot of the credit to me has to go to Steve Sharondolo, John Thornton. They made the right decisions still thus far. 5 games in, look, there's still 29, 28 other games going on the rest of the season. But we'll have to wait till that happens. But 5 games in, the way this team is playing, the way this team is moving, Carlos Vela is happy. Brian Rodriguez, we just talked about, he's committed. You got Ilya Sanchez who came in, he's having an impact. You also got Kellen Acosta, who didn't really play because he's coming from international play. He's another player that almost is going to have a big impact in this game. And you also got Max Crepeau, who had an amazing game, as well as a solid goalkeeper. To me, this is looking like the most well-rounded LAFC team I have seen in the short 5 years that they've been a club.
yeah.
Now 2019, look, that's all the records. I don't want to get into the comparisons, but if we look overall, this is the most well-rounded LAFC team. Now we have to see if they can overcome some of those obstacles. One obstacle is this Saturday to beat LA Galaxy in Carson. That is one of the big obstacles this year, because if you can do that, then you have you have one up on LA Galaxy, if you want to put it that way, right? They can't say that you haven't beaten them at home, but I think that's one of the big obstacles this year, and then so many things go on after that. But I like that this matchup is starting early in the season. We get both Carlos Vela and Chicharito up top in the best form, and I don't think they haven't played each other. When I think last time they played, Chicharito and Carlos Vela, was when Chicharito was with Manchester United, and I think Carlos Vela was in Arsenal. I think it was like a Champions League or something like that, or Sevilla. Was it Sevilla? I think it might have been Sevilla. But yeah, either way, it's an exciting game. What are you most looking at out for this game?
Uh, I think Vela. I want to see Vela, be the star of this game. He's done it before. He scored in Carson multiple times. It's nothing new to him. The first El Traffico, what they were up 2-3, they were scored 3 goals and Vela scored 2 of them, and then Zlatan came in and changed the game. So I think Vela needs to be the star of this game, get his goals, and really, seal the deal for LAFC. But I also want to see Dolo, how he is on the sideline, and I also want to see this team's grit. Ilie, Acosta, Maxine, Fall. They're all personalities. Escobar, if he's healthy, they're all personalities that I want to see this game be chippy and them not back down, because I think they need to set the tempo physically, mentally, first, and whoever sets that tone first is most likely going to win that game. I think the Galaxy not having Marky Delgado in the midfield is going to be big, because the Galaxy's defense is not the strongest, but their midfield is what's bailing them out, and with winning those balls and covering that ground, so the defense doesn't have to suffer. But with that loss, I think whoever they put in is not going to have the same effect as Marky, because they haven't trained with that person, or etc. So I think Dolo's going to have to find a way to exploit the midfield, and what Vela, Birad, Chicho, Opoku, whoever is up there can do when given space and a lot of chances. So like you said, fireworks are going to fly. I expect LAFC to finally get that first win. It's going to be huge for Dolo, huge for the team, to believe in Dolo once that happens, and the fan base, who didn't believe in Dolo, who still aren't convinced, are going to have to start turning the other way, and saying Dolo can coach this team and take this team pretty far.
Yeah, you make a great point on that. I want to go back. I misspoke. It was Real Sociedad where Carlos Vela and Chicharito last played. It was the Champions League. To me, look, I was on the wait and see approach when it came to Steve Sharondolo, because it was a very interesting signing. But look, 5 games in, I keep saying you got to give Steve Cherundolo his props. With what he's been doing, the guys look very committed to the team. There's nothing that you can question about Steve Cherundolo at this point in time, 5 games in. But yeah, this is a game that everybody's gonna be tested. If Steve Cherundolo, what say they're down, for example, what substitutions is he going to do? What lineup is he going to go with? Because to me, a player that keeps standing out, and I know we just talked about Carlos Vela, Chicho, and all of them, but how does not Mahala, the way he's been playing, he's been impacting the game. I know he barely played, but he was able to get on the stat sheet. He got a goal. This player is hungry. He is very, very hungry. He's also very committed to the team. He also can impact the game. To me, I think Mahala will be, to me, if it's not anybody else, I think Mahala is definitely gonna be. I mean, it's not a secret. He's gonna be the X factor to this game one way or another. But like if you're Steve Cherundolo, it's a good problem to have. I mean, that's what he's getting paid for, who he starts on the lineup. But I don't know how you don't play Mahala more than how you not play him more than 45 minutes. There's a lineup that you play Chicho, Brian Rodriguez, Vela, and Mahala on the same one. Is he going to use that? I don't know. That's up to him. But to me, Mahala is a player that can definitely impact this game. Can definitely go head to head with Raheem Edwards on the left hand side. Cause a lot of trouble and limit some of LA Galaxy's left back, or if he's on the right wing, it could limit some of the things Raheem Edwards could potentially do. What are your thoughts on Mahala potentially being playing in this game or starting or whatever you see from Mahala?
Hey, I'm not the coach. I'm not here to decide if Chicho or Opoku starts. I'm
Well,
not here
look,
to
we,
make
we
that.
gotta get your thoughts because look,
It's the
look,
question is it's simple. It's, do you want Chicho off the bench or do you want Mahal off the bench? In the
I don't
60th,
think you
70th
necessarily
minute.
need to have one. You can. There is a lineup where you can play them all, but you're gonna have to give and take on some of
Yeah.
the midfield. You're gonna have to take off a midfield player. But yeah, it is either Chicha or Mahala. What it's looking at this point.
I mean, you can. I still think you start Chicho just for the experience in big games. Mahala doesn't have that many experiences in big games, especially being injured.
Champions League,
Basically all of last
Champions
season.
League,
Yeah, but
CONCACAF Champions League.
there weren't fans in those games. It
I'm
doesn't feel
making
the
it difficult
same.
on you, JP.
I
It's
know,
my job.
Chicho has played too many clásicos in Colombia, and he's played in Europe. So I think you start him. If you put a body in the box that can toe poke a ball in between Koulibaly and Williams or whoever the Galaxy play, and ultimately Vela, Chicho, and Birod are the front three who should be in the playoffs. So that's what the fans want to see, and I think Chicho started last game. He didn't do anything too crazy to be pulled out again. And I
Yeah,
think
I'm not saying you need to pull out Chicho. I'm just saying you can play all four of them. You just gotta get creative with the formation. I just want to see that. I'm just being selfish now. I just
no,
want to
I know
see. I just want to see how Chicho, B Rod, Carlos Vela,
4-4-2,
Mahala.
4-4-2, Ilya
Oh, yeah,
Acosta at
it's
center
more
mid.
it's more of a 4-3-1. It's a more of a 4-2-3-1 is what I envision. Um,
Oh, Vela at the
because
10.
Vela at the 10. Yeah.
Hey, Dolo can do anything he wants as long as he gets the
I
three
know he can do
points.
whatever. I just want to see it because that
Hey,
that is a lot of offensive power. That
we
is
we
so.
we both know Vela can play the 10. It's just ultimately if he's sold into that system and he's bought in and wants to play the 10 and everything that the 10 comes with. But he always likes to be on the wing and cut in and connect with the middle like that. So we know Vela can do it. It's ultimately up to Vela and Dolo to figure that situation out. But hey, as long as LAFC get the 3 points, no one's gonna question
You're right.
anything.
You make a great point. It doesn't matter what formation or who starts or whatever. As long as you get the win against the LA Galaxy, that's definitely the most important thing. For this matchup. Look, man, I'm excited for this. I'm excited. There's just so much. Both teams, like I said, both teams are in top form. You have Raheem Edwards, who's facing, his former club LAFC, who's looking probably the best Raheem Edwards he's probably been in his career. Are you in any way Nervous about what Raheem Edwards could potentially do to LAFC this game?
I'm worried about all the players. It's the derby. Anybody can show up and show out. But no, yeah, Raheem Edwards has been having great. He's leading the assists and he's leading the MLS in assists right now. And just 5 games, I think. He has 4 assists, so he's tearing up the left wing. I think Vanny saw him last season and said, "This is the guy I want in my system." And Raheem Edwards is fully bought in. He wants that spot in the Canada roster come Qatar. And if he keeps on playing like this, then they're gonna have to call him up. But I mean, ultimately, I think Escobar can calm him down, close him down. I don't think the Galaxy will be that explosive down the wings or just attack as much this game in general, just because, like I said, Marky Delgado is not going to be there. So I don't think they're going to have that much coverage if he goes up and they lose the ball. And LAFC have no problem countering. Dolo has no problem playing on the counter. I mean, you saw it this game. They were outpossessed by Orlando. So playing on the counter is not something that LAFC is not accustomed to. And when you have Julian and Edwards who love to push up, that just falls into LAFC's hands. So maybe Vanny switches it up a bit, says, let's play a bit more calm, let's play a bit more pragmatic and sit back a bit. So, it's a toss-up. But yes, when Raheem Edwards is determined to go down that wing, it's scary, especially in the form that he's in right now.
Yeah, look, there's so much going into this matchup. Look, guys, if you guys haven't been there, definitely get a chance. I love that both LAFC and LA Galaxy made a joint statement, joint video where Chicho, Victor Vasquez, you had Ryan Hollingshead, I think Ilya Sanchez, with even Chicharito was there to talk about the fan safety and everything like that, because I think that's first and foremost. Look, like I said, I like a good banter here and there, but I think when it comes to violence and all that, that's when it's not as enjoyable. Yeah, especially when it's after the game when people are trying to go home, and to have and have a good time, especially when there's family, kids, and all that's involved. So I love that both teams went ahead and made sure. I know there's going to be added security and all of that. So if you get a chance, definitely get an opportunity to come to some of these games, because it is electrifying. And you never know when the next time you'll get another maybe Carlos Vela or Chicharito matchup in LA, because you don't know the next one's not happening till July. So we'll see what happens. JP, will you be at the game?
TBD, to be determined. I don't know
To be
yet.
determined. Yeah, no. Look, man, if you get a chance, definitely go, because
I was at the last one in Carson, so it was fun, and those cookies were really good. So I think I might have to go back. But hey, man, I gotta witness history. I gotta witness LAFC's first victory in Carson. So
hey,
might have to invest.
You could be part of history without even knowing it.
I know.
You could tell your kids, when
I was
you were
there.
there, like, you were there. Because typically how the story goes, there's always people like, oh yeah, I was there. Like, there's only like what 30, 20, 25,000 seats or whatever. Like a million people say, yeah, I was there. I was at the game or whatever. But you can actually say you were there, and you have proof or whatever of the ticket. But yeah, man, like I said, if you guys get a chance, definitely go out there, have a good time. Have some banter, but don't get too crazy when it turns to violence and all that. Everybody else, don't ruin it for anybody else. But with that said, man, I'll be at the game. If you guys, I'll be passing out some stickers. I got some LA Soccer Hub stickers, and I'll be doing some fan interviews for this Saturday. But yeah, so for JP, this is Gio, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, everybody.